How I use discipline to lose 25 pounds of body fat. Before we get into the video, if you're struggling with weight loss, click the link in the description and I'll personally help you achieve that goal which you think is impossible to get to, because I was once there, and I will personally make sure you get the results that you want. Uh, Hit the subscribe button right now and hit the like button. But yeah, how I use discipline to lose weight. So essentially, I used to weigh 205 pounds, and I got there because of poor eating habits, and I used eating as a coping mechanism. I ate junk food every day, and I was very inactive, so I got to be 205 pounds. I wasn't really overweight, but I was significantly bigger than I normally was. And then it wasn't until I started implementing the keto diet and intermittent fasting where I started seeing results. But what it took me to do that was discipline, because it's not easy to just lose weight like that. It took me about 3 months of just consistency with what I was doing to lose weight. But that's what it took. It took discipline. And what is discipline? It's putting yourself through something that's uncomfortable, and voluntarily doing it. Voluntarily choosing to put yourself through discomfort in order to achieve some goal. So if you take what I did with my weight loss, for example, having things that were keto, I had to give up the unhealthy foods that I became addicted to and I was constantly craving. I had to give that up to eat healthier foods. It took me a while to get accustomed to the healthy foods and start actually preferring those and liking those foods over the junk food. But at the beginning, it was a hard thing to do, to voluntarily have something that was healthier versus the cheap, or not expensive junk food. But yeah, that's my point. It's hard to do that change when you're addicted to just like junk food, and to switch it up to something healthy. And then also another example is when I started fasting, intermittent fasting, more so prolonged fasting. I would only have liquid. I would only have coffee or water. And the longest I went fasting was 3 days. And during that period, I because of the nature of the keto diet, it was a lot easier to do that fasting. But it doesn't mean it was hard. It wasn't hard to do, because it was really hard to do in general. So just doing that too was putting myself through a state of discomfort, because a lot of the times I was hungry. But again, because of the nature of the keto diet, it made hunger to be something more manageable. Whereas if you do fasting on a regular diet, which I had before, it's a lot more painful. It's because you have a different type of hunger when you're not on keto. But yeah, it's different. But again, it's still hard to do. That's my point. So those are some examples of how I use discipline to lose weight. I gave up the foods that I was addicted to. I put myself through very long periods of starvation, and in result, it helped me achieve the goals that I want. And with doing that, it also helped me do other things that required discipline, like reading books, sleeping early, waking up early, doing tasks, whatever. Like, what do you have to do? And that's my whole point of the video, is that if you want to lose weight, you're going to have to go through some sort of discomfort and change in order to build that discipline that you need to make change in your life. I'll give you another example of before, when I was overweight and I tried to do things that required discipline, but this was before I actually started changing up my diet and whatnot. There was a time where I said to myself, I want to be really productive, so I'm going to wake up at 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning. I'm going to go for a run, and I'm going to spend the entire morning just working on whatever I need to do, my tasks. So I put an alarm for, let's say, 5. I woke up. I actually managed to stay awake and go for that run. But then I gassed myself out because my cardio was horrible. And then I came home, and the first thing I did was fall back asleep. Now, mind you, yes, it's most likely because my sleep at the time was horrible. I'd wake up super late, fall asleep super late. And I think that night as well, I fell asleep fairly late, so I didn't get that much sleep, so I was exhausted in the morning. But yeah, it was because I lacked the discipline to make these type of changes, and I needed to start somewhere. And what I mean is that, like, the point I'm trying to make is that if you want to see results, you have to have discipline. And of course, you have to start somewhere. So in that example I provided of me waking up early and not following through with my intentions, it's to highlight how I lack the discipline to follow through. But also, because I didn't continue that every day, I didn't build the discipline to even do that, or to do stuff like that. So that's what I mean. Just because I did it once and it was in vain, I had no discipline gained from it, nor did I have the discipline to do it. But when you do something and you push yourself to be consistent and do it like every day or every other day, that's how you build your discipline, and that's how you build the discipline to do other things, or that requires discipline. So in that example, because I did it once and I didn't do it again up until I started making proper changes to my life, but because I did it once and never did it again, I gained nothing from it. It was all in vain. It's the same thing as if I wanted to make change and I wanted to start working out, I go to the gym, I work out, and then I realize, wow, this is really hard, and I don't go back to the gym for months. Then that's no progress. I'm not getting any discipline. I'm still lacking the discipline to do something, to dedicate myself to bettering myself like that. But if I was the type of person to go to the gym, say that was hard, but then go back the next day, or go back 2 days later, or even a week later, as long as I'm showing some sort of consistency, it's going to be a matter of time where I build that discipline to do harder things. And I guess it comes down to a topic of approach, how you approach it. Because if you look at the example that I gave about me waking up early, you have to consider that I was falling asleep really late every day and waking up really late every day too. So if I wanted to wake up early and do whatever, I should have approached it in a different way. I should have seen, okay, these are the times that I wake up, because I've been documenting when I wake up and fall asleep. Let's say I fall asleep at 1 a.m. and I wake up at 11 a.m. or 12. Just if I want to make change and to go through it from a better approach, I can say I'm going to wake up an hour or two earlier instead of waking up at 5 a.m. despite me sleeping at 1 a.m. So you have to slowly build up to whatever you want to do. A good metaphor or example I like to use is this. So this essentially you now, or the beginner, and the higher this is, the more discipline you need to do this task, and this is your discipline. So you got to start slow and work your way up. So if you try to do something that's hard, or at least hard for yourself, you're going to start here, but you're going to have no discipline. So you're bound to fail. Whereas if you start little and work your way up to it, that's how you build your discipline. And that's actually how I did it with my diet too. I didn't one day just say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to switch to keto and I'm going to start intermittent fasting. No, it's a very slow process. I had to replace all my meals slowly with stuff that was keto. I had to do my research. I had to slowly start implementing intermittent fasting, and then I slowly implemented prolonged fasting. And there were many times where I failed, where I was trying to do keto, but then I ended up eating something that was junk food, or just, yeah, like times where I fell off from what I was trying to do. But it's the consistency that you need. But yeah, my point was that you got to start small. So whether it's losing weight or going to the gym, going into something cold turkey, which is essentially what I did that morning when I woke up and went for the run. Doing something cold turkey might not be for you. And if you're someone like me who does something cold turkey and failed miserably, then that's a clear sign that yes, I should probably start slow and work my way up to my goal. But yeah, that's my point for this video. That's how I use discipline to lose weight. I slowly worked up to my goal of losing weight. I slowly replaced my junk food with keto food. I slowly implemented intermittent fasting, and I slowly started putting myself through that discomfort of switching the food, of getting through my cravings of junk food, and getting through those periods of fasting. You start slow, or start small and build your way up. But yeah, if you made it this far into the video, I thank you so much for watching. Click the link in the description, hit that subscribe button, and like the video.